Hello, I'm Mike from Music Radio Creative, and yes, it's here. You can click the update button on your Adobe Creative Cloud right now. Yes, the apps for April 2019 are here, and they're packed chocker full of new features. I'm very, very excited about this. So Adobe Creative Cloud for audio and video creators is getting better and better. And I'm particularly interested in Adobe Audition, as I usually am. And this first feature that I'm going to introduce you to, I'm so excited about this. When I noticed that you could right-click the record button and do funky things, I nearly fell out of my seat. So these are the apps I'm going to be looking at, mainly focusing over here on Adobe Audition. We'll also look at Premiere and a really cool thing that I'm a big fan of that you can do with video in After Effects. It's called Content Aware Fill for video. But let's dive straight in to Adobe Audition and let's have a look at my favorite new feature in Audition. I think voiceover artists, I think podcasters are really going to like this feature. By the way, before I start with showing you what I'm so excited about and what's new, welcome along if you are watching live. Feel free to post in the comments wherever you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or wherever it is. Post who you are, where you're watching from, and any questions you've got, or indeed what you're most excited about regarding the new updates for April 2019, just ahead of the NAB show, which is the big National Association of Broadcasters show in the USA. So this is all very, very exciting stuff. So let's get into Punch and Roll. I can see Doug's in there. I can see etc's in there. Nice to see you there. Punch and Roll is now natively integrated here into Adobe Audition. Yes, I know, fantastic. So especially for voiceover artists, podcasters as well. I'm going to make a video on this later in the week or maybe next week to show you how you can actually just punch in a piece of audio anywhere in your recording. So this is only 20 seconds for an example, but you could have a recording that's 1 hour long and you might need to change one thing. Well, that's really tough to do because you have to record and you take and then insert it, and you can't get the inflection or the tone of how you were saying the words in the first place. But rather than describe it, let me show you. If you take this record button and right click it, you've always had instant record mode and timed record mode, which is really handy if you want to record like a program that's going out at a certain time or a piece of audio that starts and ends at a certain duration. But now we also have this one, Punch and Roll mode. You can see it just there. I know it's very tiny on the screen, but Punch and Roll mode is a new thing in this latest update of Audition. It's literally just come out, so you'll definitely want to refresh your Creative Cloud desktop app and get this copy of Audition down. It's version 12.1, by the way. And here we go. We got some video, we got some narration. As you can see down here, that's Sydney and Charles. Thank you very much for the super chat. That's amazing. supporting the live stream with updates on Audition and other Adobe Creative apps. Thank you very much, Charles, there in Canada. Amazing stuff. So I'm just going to actually pop this video out. I'm going to undock the panel and make it a little bit bigger so you can really see this. Let's pull this up there. And there's my video. Okay, so I was doing a bit of narration about Sydney earlier on. Population of just under 4.5 million and an area of over 12,000 kilometers squared. It is a huge hub in Australia. You're looking at the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Whoops, yeah, did you notice the mistake there? Yes, unfortunately, I said you're looking at the Sydney Harbour Bridge. That definitely is not the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Last time I looked anyway. So this is where Punch and Roll is really going to help me. So you notice I've enabled this. You can see on the record button, I've got a little arrow with a line on it saying that Punch and Roll mode is enabled. And what this will allow me to do is listen to a little bit of my audio and then record me at the moment I've placed my cursor. So I want to get my cursor just at the part of the audio where I make the mistake, and then I can punch in my correction. So watch how it works. 1,000 kilometers squared. It is a huge hub in Australia. You're looking at the Sydney Harbour Bridge. And there's one thing I didn't do, and I didn't enable the track for recording. So make sure you do that, otherwise you're not going to be able to punch in. Let's try again. 1,000 kilometers squared. It is a huge hub in Australia. You're looking at the Sydney Opera House, which has a unique sail-like design. And then I can play this back. Let's have a listen. It is a huge hub in Australia. You're looking at the Sydney Opera House, which has a unique... So that's punch and roll, but you might have seen I had the video there. There is a feature that obviously by default, I've just hit the upgrade button on my computer. By default, this option, what it is, it gives you a nice countdown for when you're supposed to punch in and a flash on the screen when you're supposed to start talking. That doesn't appear to be enabled by default, so I want to show you how to switch it on. You go into Audition, Preferences, and you will find your punch and roll options now for this brand new feature that's available as of right now in Adobe Audition. Playback and recording is where you need to go. And down here, you've got punch and roll in a nice square box. So you'll see here, unticked at the moment, is display pre-roll countdown timer. Let me just enable that and show you again. So again, I'm going to punch in here. You're looking at the Sydney Harbour Bridge. No, you're not. Let's punch in and watch now. Now that I've enabled this feature, you'll see a lovely, lovely countdown and a big bright white flash, which means go, start talking. So let's try it now. 1,000 kilometers squared. It is a huge hub in Australia. You're looking at the Sydney Harbour... I made a mistake. I can't believe that. Well, it is live. I am streaming live right now, so it's bound to happen. Don't worry. If you make a mistake and you want to punch again, you can assign punch again to a hotkey. Let me show you. In Edit, keyboard shortcuts over here. I know voiceover artists, podcasters, audiobook narrators, people doing long-form content that need to take retakes, but hear how they've been speaking before they actually do the punch-in. This is going to be just invaluable. So punch, yeah, punch again. By default, not assigned to a key. I can see the X hotkey is free, so that's going to work perfectly for me. Assign that to X. X key is now punch again. And don't worry, I messed up. I can make another go. So X. 1,000 kilometers. It's going to count me in again. Play back the bit of audio. In Australia. You're looking at the... I've forgotten the script. No worries. That's it. Punch again. X hotkey. 1,000 kilometers square. Rolls you back again. It is a huge hub. You're going to get it right this time. Australia. You're looking at the Sydney Opera House, which has a unique sail-like design. That's the one. And the best thing is, even though it layers the takes on top of each other, you only actually hear your most recent take. Have a listen. In Australia. You're looking at the Sydney Opera House. Perfect. Okay, so that is now my completed take. It's fantastic. Love it. But of course, if I delete that take or if I move this down onto another track, you'll see my other takes are there. I can delete them or just leave them. It doesn't make a difference, and pull that back in. So that's cool. It's done some weird crossfading thing now. So I might need to just cut that out and pull that up. Now I'm going to show you another feature because at the moment I'm holding the shift key and moving this around, but there's another way to nudge audio in Audition as of right now with the latest update. But first, I'm going to take a look at some of the comments that are coming in from you on the live stream. Either of you watching on Facebook, I know some of you are watching on Facebook right now. We got some of you watching on YouTube right now, so it's great to have you here. It is, yes, it's Adobe Update Day. Woo! We should have a big amount of reverb. It's Adobe Update Day. So we got, who have we got? We got Dane, who says the mistakes make it better in some ways. Yes, they do. But punch and roll is going to save the day on that. Broadcaster Hun from Honduras watching. Hello to you. We got Geek Devotion saying, morning, just wanted to let you know I just got CC for my job. Your channel's been monumental in helping me figure out how to use it. Well, thank you, Geek Devotions. Appreciate that. Now you're going to have more updates to play with. This is the live stream where I'm going to kind of flip between apps and show you some of the new updates. But I will be putting videos out on my channel over the coming days and weeks that will do very short form tutorials on this is how you do it in 2 or 3 minutes. So you can just get the meat and potatoes. This is more a kind of in-depth look at everything. So thank you for that, Geek Devotions. We've got Musa, who's watching from Malawi, which is lovely. Julian's in from South Florida as well. Hi to Eric. So yeah, do feel free to post in the chat wherever you're watching right now. Let me know who you are, where you're watching from, and also what your favorite new feature is, as I sort of cover a few of them on this stream right now. We've got John, who's in Ohio on Facebook. We've got Paul Curtis as well. Nice to see you. So, talking about punch and roll really is just fabulous. And then moving these clips up and down. Now, using the Alt or Option key up and down, I can actually now nudge my clips up and down like this, which is super handy. Not having to use the mouse. Oh, it did a weird thing there. That was quite funny. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, I can nudge up and down. And what you might find as well, if you've just upgraded, sometimes the hotkey, the new hotkey settings don't transfer to Audition, so you need to set them up manually. Edit, keyboard shortcuts, or Alt or Option K will bring this up, and just search for nudge. And these are brand new shortcuts now. Nudge up, nudge down in Adobe Audition. And so you can do that. You don't have to grab the mouse and then move this around. Oh, it's gone out of time. Hit the Shift key, all of that. No, just Alt or Option, down, up. And where I find this super handy, let's just get out of the punch and roll for a second. I'm going to start a new multi-track session called Imaging, and I'm going to use my Adobe Audition presets that are available to grab right now at mrc.fm/presets. Let's dock that video panel back in for the moment. And sometimes I'll record a voiceover in and I'll say, let's switch it out of punch and roll. This is the best music. Okay, so that's me speaking inside my presets. And the best thing about my presets is they're designed for quick and easy production when you're creating radio imaging. So I'm just going to stick in a sound effect as well. So we'll put that in and we'll get a little sweeper. This is the best music. And let's pull in another sound effect just to make it super sweet. Here we go. This is the best music. Be nice if I could get best on the bang of that sound effect. So let's do that. Oh, we got snapping on. Yeah. Done the upgrade. It's reset some of my preferences. Here we go. Snapping off. Best music. Okay, that's quite a cool sweeper. This is the best music. Hi, Henry in Holland. Nice to have you there. So, yeah, where I'm really going to be using nudging a lot, the nudging shortcut, Alt or Option up and down, is inside these presets that I use all the time. Now I can nudge my voice from track to track and quickly audition what different sound effects sound like. So, this is the best music. And then we can go, so we can play back in real time. This is the best music. And then we can go, this is the... And then we can go to another one. This is the... And nudging down. This is the... And nudging down. This is the best music. And nudging down. This is the best music. And nudging down. This is the best music. And let's do it one more time. This is the best music. Oh, finally, let's just go deep.
This is the best music.
And that's my favorite effect. And then what I might do is I might cut that. And I wonder actually if I can... I'm just going to try a thing here. Okay, I want to copy this and nudge it up. I wonder if that's a thing, because I know I can do Shift. Oh no, can I? No, I can do Command. Command? What am I doing? Or Alt? Oh no, Alt copies. Alt and Shift. So if I do Alt and Shift, I can copy and lock in time. I wonder if there's a keyboard shortcut to kind of copy and nudge up, because then I can do things like this.
Best music.
So I can kind of double track my voice.
This is the best music.
Pretty cool, I think you'll agree. The stuff you've seen so far in Adobe Audition has been second to none. We've got punch and roll, we've got nudging up and down, and that is just scratching the surface of what is possible. We're going to get in more. I did want to show you something really cool in video as well over in After Effects in this thing right here. And the reason I'll show you this and then dive back into a bit more Audition is because After Effects takes a long time to render things. So it might be that I need to show you the content-aware fill for video that has just been released today, which is really epic, by the way. And I might need to set it up, show you how it all sets up, and then leave it running for a little bit while I show you another demo. Seeing as this is a live stream, I can't cut or reduce the amount of rendering time, so we might get into that. Meanwhile, I'm just looking over at your comments that you're saying on this live stream. What a wonderful day it is. It's Adobe Update Day. Fantastic. Right, so we've got Cato, who's saying, sorry I'm late. My mum told me I was conceived in midair due to an oversprung mattress. Love it. We got Dane saying, well, heck, it never even occurred to me to use tracks this way. Yeah, absolutely, Dane. That's what you should be doing. If you are producing audio and you're using a lot of different sound effects, you should have lots of different tracks with lots of different sound effects. And now with the new Adobe Audition update today, you can nudge up, nudge down, quickly preview different sound effects. It's absolutely fantastic. Michael's in as well. Greetings to you, Michael. Lovely to see you in the live chat. So yeah, if you are watching live, just let me know who you are and whereabouts you are watching from. Okay, let's go back Henry says, I've got the VST3 effects rack. Is it possible to download the presets you have? I don't see why not. They only use native Adobe Audition sound effects, so it shouldn't be a problem at all for you. Michael has made a fantastic super chat donation. Really appreciate the super chats. We've had one from Charles earlier, Michael as well. You guys are just amazing. So thank you so much. A big thumbs up from me. Right, so as I said, before we get back into Audition, I'm going to skip over to After Effects and show you something amazing from start to finish, how to use content-aware fill for video. Now, as you know, I usually stick to audio, but more and more I'm finding the Creative Cloud tools that I have every month anyway, really useful for video production and doing cool effects with videos. So I did want to show you something that just blew my mind, is the content-aware fill for video. This is just stunning. So I'm just going to drag in that same clip I was using earlier, the Sydney Opera House. There it is. And here is the city in the background, and obviously lots of boats moving around. If I play this clip, there you go. It's playing back quite nicely at the moment. Not much stuff to render. Now, here's where it gets fun. All of these boats in the water, let's just scrub back to the start. Usually I get really scared by After Effects, but this is one of the easiest features to use inside After Effects. And I see Juan's just joined the chat on YouTube. Nice to see you. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. It's Adobe Update Day. Such an exciting time. This is just brilliant. So, content-aware fill for video. How does it work? First of all, you need to create a masking layer around the thing that you would like to disappear. Well, it's just the same as Photoshop. I mean, I'm sure you've used content-aware fill in Photoshop. I use it all the time, you know, to scrub something out or whatever. It works brilliantly. But now it's doing it frame by frame for video. So I will grab the pen tool over here. And I want to get rid of this boat. Say, for instance, I don't want this boat. And there could be many use cases for this. You could have a lovely shot of, you know, a tourist attraction, but there's a couple of people just walking out at the moment. You've got the perfect shot. So you can actually use content-aware video fill to just like get rid of people, boats, wildlife, animals that shouldn't be there, whatever. So I'm going to draw a nice tight mask using the pen tool around, around this this little boat here. And just for the sake of speed, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Just for the sake of speed, I'm going to do this on a very short clip. Now, when I mask around it at the moment, if I pop down my video track here in After Effects and into masks, you'll see that it's got add, but for the moment I'll click none, so it just gives me the whole scene with this little boat here. And then what I can do is I can use the tracker, but before I do that, I'm going to really reduce this. This is about a minute long clip, and I'm going to make this 2 seconds so I can get this rendering happening as fast as possible, maybe even in real time, so you can see it working really quickly. First of all, I'll go over to the tracker over here on the right-hand side, and having selected what I want to eventually use content-aware fill for video on, I can go ahead and let's select the mask. I can track the mask, okay? Selecting the mask, track the mask using the play button, and watch this. As it plays back, it is going to pop on keyframes, and it's going to move. You see it's moving my mask as the boat moves. And of course, the more the boat moves, the more it's going to track. That's done now. You see all my keyframes are down there. Scrub back to the beginning, and you see how that mask is moving perfectly with the boat. And if I was doing it on one of these boats, it would work even better because it would like whoosh up following the boat. But just for the sake of a demo on a live stream, I'm going to keep this really short and simple. So once I've done that, I then go into content-aware fill. And it's really easy. Once you've tracked, you've got your mask around, your keyframes are in, you just click Generate Fill Layer. So easy. Even an audio guy can use it. Generate fill layer, and here we go. Now it's analyzing. You see, actually, this is not going to take too long. We might be able to do this in real time. It's 25%. Should get up to 100% soon. Oh, actually, I need to stop. There's one thing I've forgotten to do. I need to change now the mask from none to subtract. Okay? Now you see at the moment, it's a great big gaping black hole. That's not good. Now we generate the fill layer. This might take a little longer. Yes, it's going to take a little longer. And once, oh no, it's not taking too long. Once this is analyzed, it's going to go through frame by frame and replace that black hole with hopefully a little bit of water. So we kind of do content aware fill for video, and this is just, it's superb. Look, it's doing it. There you go. So you can see my boat has already gone. It's rendering out 1,366 frames. Oh no, it's done. Okay, cool. So 2 seconds using content aware fill. Let's just play this 2 seconds. I mean, that's stunning. Yes, of course, you can see the trail that's been left behind from the boat. So if you wanted to do it properly, you'd have to kind of probably mask all around there. But I mean, look at that. That's just completely gone. That's amazing. And if I actually move away from the mask so that it's not highlighted and you didn't see that trail there, you just wouldn't know there was a boat there. That's amazing. Like, my mind is literally blowing up with this content aware fill for video. This is absolutely nuts. Think of the possibilities. I mean, I just don't know. How are you going to be using this? Look at that. So remember, that's where our boat was initially. Let's put the tracked mask back on so you can see the highlight of where the boat was. That's just wow. Yeah. I'm just having a moment watching that. That's so cool, isn't it? Content aware fill. So exactly the same as Photoshop, but every single frame of your video is getting replaced now and looking cool. That is amazing. And if I go back to none again, let's see, or add. Oops, no. We can't get our boat back now. I've erased the boat forever. But anyway, that's After Effects with content aware fill for video. I'm really, really impressed by that. So if you've got any questions or you want to say hello or anything at all, feel free to do so in the chat right now. This is a live stream. I am actually reading your comments as I do this. And I can see that we got Mega Radio UK. If I record a live show in my radio broadcasting software and make a mistake, can I re-record the mistake in Audition, or will it give me a different sound? Well, it might do. It depends if you're using the same mic and audio interface on your radio broadcasting software as you're using in Audition. It should be fine if you're using the same setup. But if you've got different mics and different setups, do be aware of that. What else have we got? We got Mr. Cab 63 giving a round of applause and a thumbs up. I guess that's for the content aware fill for video, which is amazing. What else have we got here? How do I add presets to Audition? Really good question. So I'll show you that briefly. If we hop over to Audition, you can do that by getting a session file. So say I've got this session that I really like, and I save it. I'll save it into my downloads folder, and I'll call it imaging. Okay, imaging.sesx. And then what I can do is close this down entirely, and actually I'll reopen it. Sorry, let me reopen it. Instead of saving the session as imaging, I can actually save it out, export it as a template. And I can call this anything and save it into session templates. And then, so if I save that as imaging, and then close down this imaging session again, back to the waveform file, new multitrack. Now forever, that will be available imaging, even with the sound files I had open in it as a template. Click OK, and boom, we're back to the initial template I had. So hope that answers your question, Michael. Henry Isabella is not in on this live stream right now. As usually, she joins me on a Friday for Free Jingle Friday, which you'll find here on my channel, where we do free voiceovers, free jingles, and bits like that. But this is a special one-off, as today is the day there are new updates in the Adobe Creative Cloud. So I'm going over these three apps you can see behind me: Adobe Audition, Adobe Premiere Pro, Adobe After Effects. Before diving back into Adobe Audition, I'd like to show you something really cool that is noticeable in Premiere Pro. If you're using it to edit your videos, I'm just going to drag in three. So I've got video here of Prague, video of Sydney, and a video of a mixing desk. Now, the coolest thing is you've always been able to play around here in the project area and pull in your clips. But they've added this Freeform View, which is pretty cool, because with this, you can actually drag things around like this. So I can layer things over each other. I can move that. I can just move this wherever I want. I can put this down here. You're able to resize. So if you want to make clips bigger or smaller, depending on the priority, you can really, it's called freeform because you can literally move your clips to wherever you want. Or if you want, you can right click and go reset to grid, and you can sort your clips by all the usual good stuff here. So by duration, if you want, you can sort that audio duration. You can sort by all kinds of different stuff. But I guess the Freeform editor is just giving those video editors who really need creative control the ability to clip, you know, everything together. So this could be like scenery, this could be technical stuff. So that's a nice new update that's available in Premiere Pro. How are you finding the updates? Let me know in the chat what you think. And yeah, just let me know what you're going to be using for your production workflow. But I'm really digging some of the updates. So I think we pretty much covered punch and roll and how cool that is. Let's just to wrap up, let's go back to our session. Where is it? Our punch and roll session with the Sydney Opera House down here. And there was one last thing I wanted to show you with punch and roll. And that is, again, if you go into Audition, Preferences, Playback and Recording, you can actually change the pre-roll duration. So I can make it 3 seconds. I think that's more than enough. Display the pre-roll countdown timer, and you'll see the timer will be down here where my mouse arrow is, and then I can punch in again. So right click, punch and roll mode. On we go. Let's listen to the initial bit before I punch in again. Is a huge hub in Australia. You're currently looking at the Sydney Opera House. Oh, and always remember to arm your track for recording. Let's do it again. Is 3, 2, 1. You're looking at the Sydney Opera House, which is shaped like a set of sails. Lovely. There you go. And you notice the 3, 2, 1 and the white flash that really lets you know that it's time to start speaking. If you want to make that unmistakable, undock your video and make it super big. And then you can really see this in all its glory. Is a huge hub in Australia. You are looking at the Sydney Opera House, which is fantastic. And just a moment ago, I did content-aware fill for video on a boat you're looking at on the screen. You wouldn't even know it was there. It disappeared, vanished, all gone. There you go. So punch and roll, really, really good stuff for long-form audio recorders. I'm loving this. So let's dock the video back in down here. There we go. Back to where it was. And what else? Actually, if you ever want to reset your workspace in Audition, it's really easy just by clicking this Reset to Save Layout, and boom, we even get Essential Sound back, which is quite convenient because I was going to download a bit of ambience. Should we get some ambience? So let's go to, I'm going to go and download maybe some background noise of crickets. I always like it when you hear crickets, especially when you tell really terrible jokes. You get like crickets that sound like this. And I'm going to download that audio and pop it into the multi-track here. And let's change the color of that track. Let's make it bright green like a cricket. There we go. And for some reason now, along with my video, I have crickets under my voice. Sydney is the capital of New South Wales and one of Australia's largest cities, with a population of just... Now, as you can hear, the crickets are kind of interfering with the voiceover at the moment. Well, another update to Adobe Audition is that obviously you can use Essential Sound for this kind of stuff to quickly process stuff, particularly when you're producing videos. You can now auto-duck ambience tracks, as well as you can auto-duck music tracks. So super new addition if you're sticking in something like crickets, background noise, forests, roads, cars, city streets, whatever your ambience track is. Let me show you how this would work in practice. So we've got the narration here. This is all dialogue, so I tell Essential Sound it's dialogue. And let's use some of the settings in Essential Sound to add some dynamics. Sydney is the capital of New South Wales and one of Australia's dynamics. To bring it up, a little bit of EQ. We'll go for subtle boost. I'm not a female. Subtle boost male. There we go. Sydney is the capital of New South Wales. Okay, nice and clear using very quick Essential Sound tools. And then into this, and we're going to make it an ambience track. Let's look for the default settings. Let's go for wide and deep. Let's try that. Area of over 12,000 kilometers squared. It is... Okay, that's given a really nice ambience kind of feel to the track with a little bit of large room ambience reverb happening there. But we can also switch on ducking if we like to just further, as you can see, look, as soon as I tick ducking, it is ducking those crickets out with this pink dotted line you can see here. Let's zoom that right in so you can see. Pink dotted line means it's ducking the ambience track. Looks really good. Let's listen now. Sydney is the capital of music. You can hardly hear that now, so let's pull that back to default and switch on ducking. Sydney is the capital of New... So as you can hear, it's really ducking it quite a bit. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to pull the sensitivity up or maybe down a bit. Let's see. Let's go with this. Change the fades to be a little slower. And the ducking amount can be a little bit less, actually. Let's make it less. So there we go. Sydney is the capital of New South Wales. Okay, still that's an extreme duck, but you get the idea. Auto ducking, I've already covered this on my channel, so make sure to subscribe for future videos about auto ducking and the new features that are out today in Adobe Audition and other Adobe Creative Cloud video products. So really, really cool stuff. If you're, like doing a full mix for video, this is really going to help you out. We'll get to some more features in just a minute, but first of all, let's see what we've got in the live chat. Paul Mac 4444 is saying, does Punch and Roll keep all takes layered? Yes, Paul Mac, you may have joined a little bit later on in the stream, but yes, indeed, it does keep all the takes layered, one on top of the other. So actually, if I go back into Audition, you'll see this is a Punch and Roll track. If I delete that track, you see there's another Punch and Roll under there. Delete that, there's another Punch and Roll under there, but you can only hear the take that you most recently did. And there's also a hotkey shortcut called Punch Again, so you can quickly, I can quickly align the cursor here, hit the X key, as long as I'm armed to record, is a huge hub. 3, 2, Australia. 1. You are looking at the Sydney Opera House, which is a pretty amazing place, and it always seems to be sunny in Australia, which is rather beautiful. And as I stop with that new punch track, I will need to assign it as dialogue for Adobe Sensei to detect and auto-duck the ambience. So assign as dialogue and instantly, boom. Yes, we got auto-ducking catching up there. So really, really good stuff. Let's see what else you've been asking in the questions here. We have got Henry saying, Mike, before CC, I was on Audition 3.0. In 3.0, you could always pre-listen to the audio file when you wanted to import a file. Is there an update on that? Will it be possible again? I really loved it. It's been possible for a long time, actually. It's just this little icon here underneath the media browser in Audition CC 2019 called Autoplay. So usually by default it's off. Just click it, blue icon on, and you are auditioning every single sound effect there. So I hope that helps you out. What else have we got? Mega Radio UK. I am now updating all of my tools like Audition, Premiere Pro, After Effects, all of these tools that are up on the screen behind me. Yeah, fabulous new updates, including like, I want to get into it because there's many more productivity updates for those of you working with video who want to do some pretty snazzy stuff. So I'm going to get back to that in a second. Just make sure I'm covering off your comments here. Love your advice, really great, says Il Pro Core Fix. I think that's your name. Don't forget to enroll in the MRC courses, best audio lessons in the world. Thank you, Michael Suhovsky. You are awesome, and I appreciate your super chat as well. What is the mic you are using? Very good question. This here is the AKG C414 XL2, and it's brilliant. It's got 5 different polar patterns, and it works really well in different environments. To record my voiceovers, I have a sound-treated room, and in there I have a Neumann TLM-103. But for the live stream, I'm using this. It's a really good mic. Comes in at around the $1,000 mark, and it's fab. It's really, really good. Okay, let's get back to it and look at some more updates for today with Adobe Audition in particular. So far, just to let you know, we've gone over Punch and Roll, which is this little icon down here, right-click, Punch and Roll mode. Let's switch that back to Instant Record. That's a really cool feature. Long-form content, podcasters, voiceover artists, audiobook narrators. Now, when you've recorded your whole session and you want to go back and replace a line, you can listen to what you were saying before so you can get the right tone and inflection, and then you can punch in. It's really, really clever stuff. It's native in Audition. I know, in particular, voice artists have been wanting something like this for a long, long time. There used to be a third-party plugin that did this, but now it's just a simple case of right-clicking the record button and enable it. We also looked at auto-ducking for ambience inside Essential Sound, which is really cool. Another thing that I'm really jazzed about is hotkeys to nudge tracks up and down and keep them locked in time. So that's Alt or Option down, or up on the keyboard. Look at that. That's a beautiful thing. Before, the way I was doing that is I was holding down the shift key and using my mouse to drag by the title bar. It does the same thing, but just if you want to quickly go up and down an Audition, this is really going to save you time, particularly in the case I was showing you earlier in my presets. If you want to nudge between each effects track, it saves you having to get the mouse, move it each time, and lose the position in time. All of that crazy stuff. So, what else have we got? Oh, this is a really cool thing worth showing you. So I'm going to drag in a few sound effects, and let's place them all onto the same track. There we go, over there. Okay, now so those sound effects are like really far out the way, and we've got a big massive session there, and we're working, you know how I sometimes work. If you see my live stream on Fridays, I do one every Friday on this channel, so make sure to subscribe at youtube.com/musicradiocreative and never miss an update. I often create session files that are super large and they have everyone's jingle in, so I'm often having to go between jingle and jingle and jingle in my multi-track session. Sometimes I want to zoom right in and get to work on someone's jingle. I'm going to be using this all the time, especially on Free Jingle Friday. It's called Zoom to Selected Clips. This was never before available. Now it is as of today. Select the clips. Now it's not going to zoom, importantly, to the time selection, but to the selected clips. You can do this by going to View, Zoom, and then zoom to selected clips. Boom, look at that. It's a beautiful thing. Right in. If this was a set of sound effects and voiceover here, I could easily edit really nice and up close like that. You see, that's the selection, but the selected clips is there. So I'm going to straight away go into the edit menu, keyboard shortcuts, and I'm going to go ahead and look for that. So zoom to selected clips, there it is. Not assigned to a hotkey by default. I think Z or Z will be a good hotkey for me. It's not taken, so I'll use that. And now I can work around like a wizard in Adobe Audition on Free Jingle Friday. I can say, okay, we're going to work with this bit, Z or Z. Or I'm going to work with this set of clips, Z or Z. And you are in. It's just stunning stuff. So we've got nudging, we've got punch and roll, ambience ducking, we've got zoom to selected clips, we've got content aware fill for video. We've got freeform folder organization of clips inside Premiere Pro. It's really, really good stuff. Just before I get onto the last few bits, before saying goodbye and leaving you to your beautiful Wednesday, let's shout out Michael, who's saying, I'm using the Zoom H1N audio recorder and a Blue Snowball mic. Thank you, Michael, for letting us know that in the chat. Any more questions, anything else you want to say on this Wednesday? It's the day that the new updates have just been released for the Adobe Creative Cloud. I'm covering mainly audio, but also a little bit about video because there's been some really exciting updates there. So let's see what else we have got in here. Yes. So really, I guess the last thing I want to cover in this particular session is editing keyframes, which you can now do really well. And let me show you how this works. I'm going to switch off the auto ducking here on these crickets, and instead I'm going to do it the old traditional way by putting in keyframes on the volume bar. So let's do that. Let's duck this down to -11 dB, and that's all very well. It does nice ducking. Sydney is the capital. That's far too far, so I could fiddle about now trying to get it to like -3 or something like that, and it's often very fiddly. But now editing keyframes is easier. Right click and you've got edit keyframe option here, and instead of -11.8 or whatever it is, I can say exact number of -3 dB please, and there it does it for me. I can also go in, I can say like, you know, -20, and I can change the position in time as well. So I can say duck it to -20, but do it at exactly 2 seconds into the clip, like that. And see, it does it for me, bang on 2 seconds. This is super cool stuff. Doesn't only work on volume, but anything that you can keyframe. So if I wanted to pan these crickets left and right, like that, I can edit one of these keyframes and say, instead of a 32 pan, let's make that a 90% pan to the left, and it does it for me. But that's not all. If you've got stuff going on the effects rack, let's stick on a hard limiter, for instance, and say I never wanted to go higher than -1 dB, these crickets chirping. I can then pop down this triangle here to get my advanced envelopes, and I can show everything for the hard limiter here, all the options, maximum amplitude, and there it is. It appears as this line down here. And I could say now, this point where I finish speaking, I would actually like to change and keyframe this. So at the moment it's -1 dB, but I'd actually like to hard limit this to a maximum amplitude of -15. Again, I can make that an exact change there by editing the keyframe. So wow, we have got editing keyframes, nudging up and down. We've got zooming to selected clips. We've got punch and roll for audio. We have got ducking ambience noises. We've got improvements under the hood. Content aware fill for video, which by the way, if you joined this live stream late and you missed what I did, let me show you on the screen where there is this mask around here. There used to be a boat, but no longer is there a boat because I'm using a fill layer, content aware fill, now available inside After Effects. Amazing stuff. Premiere Pro lets you use the freeform organizer here, so you can move stuff around to a position that makes sense for you. You can layer clips on top of each other. You can still scrub through and watch the contents of the clip. It's all really good stuff. And I'm really excited that today is Adobe Update Day. So fire up your Creative Cloud app, click Get Updates or check for updates, download the latest copy of Adobe Audition CC, Adobe Premiere Pro CC, Adobe After Effects, lots of other updates out as well. I've tried to scratch the surface, but there is a really cool live stream coming up tomorrow, and I will see actually if I can quickly find the link and post it in the chat for you, because Jason Levine, the awesome Jason Levine, is going to be hosting a live stream on Facebook tomorrow. I think around this time, or maybe just a couple of hours later than the time I'm on right now. Jason is going to be live on Facebook, and he's going to be covering everything. So everything you can imagine in audio, in video, in all the other apps that I haven't even touched upon. Jason will be covering that. So I'd really love to point you over to that stream and ask you to click the interested or the going button so that you can show up to it. So I found it. It's a Facebook event. Let me show you what it looks like on the screen here. So we have got, can I get that up for you? I think I can. So yeah. There we go. Yeah, Jason Levine over there is hosting What's New for Creative Cloud video and audio tools, covering everything from Character Animator, which I didn't touch upon, to Audition, to After Effects, to Premiere Pro. It's at 9 a.m. Pacific time on Thursday, the 4th of April. So if my calculations are correct, that should be around 5 p.m. over here in the UK. And yeah, wherever you're watching in Europe, around 6 p.m. and Australia, probably sometime in the middle of the night. But yeah, Jason Levine's live stream. I've just posted the link in the YouTube chat, so make sure to go and check out Jason and give him a lot of support on the stream tomorrow, because I know he's going to show every single little nook and cranny of the new updates that are out today in detail for you tomorrow, just ahead of the NAB show, which is happening in Las Vegas for 2019, a show I very much hope to get to next year. I won't be there this year, but yeah, it's a show that's been on my bucket list for a long time. And it's full of people in broadcasting. I believe there's going to be a podcast pavilion there this year. So with podcasting being a big part of the NAB show, I definitely want to be there. But if you're going to go, have a great time. Let me know how it goes. And a few more shout outs before I get out of here and say goodbye for today for this special live stream. Henry says, thanks for the tips, Mike. It's running, it's working. You're getting the updates. That's good. Michael subscribes to the Creative Cloud package. Juan says, thank you for the updates, Mike. This is awesome. I agree with you. It is rather awesome, isn't it? I should share my videos on social media. Just love the advice. I will share the videos. Well, thank you. Yes, and if you're watching this now and you got some benefit from this live stream, from all the updates in the Adobe Creative Cloud audio and video apps, please do share this video. Just grab the URL, share it out on social media, whether you share it on Twitter and tag me at I'm Mike Russell, or on Facebook, or do the internal search, sharing inside YouTube. I'd be super grateful for that. But anyway, that is what's new. I'm really excited. I'm going to get stuck into these features, improve my editing life. You have an absolutely wonderful day, and I'm getting out of here. Goodbye.